So I'm going to start off with a simple caddis pattern. It's going to be a dry fly pattern, one that I created, and we're talking, I'm using a red thread. It's a 6/0 thread from Superfly. I kind of half invented this fly to mimic part of the caddis hatch, and it's also a tractor fly. And what happens is I created this thing called a crystal Coachman caddis. I use a Royal Coachman tail, and it's red in color. It's dyed red compared to what a normal orange tail is. This one is dyed red. The other tail fiber you would normally use is orange. This one is red. The body is a peacock curl body. I'll just grab my peacock curl. Should have had this already, but there's our peacock. When I'm tying these flies, I'm prepared to tie usually 50 at a time, so I usually have one material sitting on the table. I'll do these in steps, so I might do the tail and body 50 times before I go to the next step, which is the crystal flash in the wing and a little bit of material for the head. At this point, I'm just tying a peacock curl body. I like to use good peacock curl. It a little thicker gives you a nicer body. I'll clean that head up a little bit so when now, we tie the tail, the body, and then we add a little bit of crystal flash. Now, I like to use a ultraviolet UV looking crystal flash. I'll tie that in underneath my deer hair wing or elk hair wing. It's already the size of what we're after. Now here's the next secret about fly tying and everything else. You need different colors of deer hair and elk hair, and different lengths and shades, and different thicknesses. Now this is a pretty important part of the story when it comes to tying caddis flies, because they're all different colors. This one happens to be an attractor, so it's not as important. What I'm going to do, measure my wing, put it in my fingers, cut it off, and you'll notice when I finish cutting off my fibers, I've got a blunt edge. I wrap it twice around the hook, let it go, and it actually flares it up to be what it wants. Now you have to hold it in place, and I'm tying what we call a bullet head. This is one that is without the flared end in the front end. So what this does is this will actually travel through the water better. It won't hold back. The fish, if they bites it, it'll be smoother to set into his side of his jaw. And if you look at the bottom, there's actually no hackle and no material between the hook and the body. So this is a better hooking fly than all that hackle and product that will get in the way of getting into the hook of the fish. So it's also mimicking the diving caddis, the one that might come back and lay its eggs. And that's a done deal. Tying flies doesn't take a lot of time when you've got everything set in front of you. It's really nice. Now the last thing I like to do is do a little quick adding of the glue. This happens to be Solarise. You put it on, you hit it with a light, and it's dry completely. And that's a complete fly. That's one of my go-to patterns every night when I'm on the water. And here's the other thing: when you're tying at home, you should actually take and pinch this barb, because your fishing streams, the regulation is barbless hooks. And that's the completed pattern. Let's just have a look at it. That's a size 14, 2x long. That is a mustad hook. Now we happen to use, it's called an S82. And the actual hook is an extra heavy. A dry fly hook is size 50. This is a size 80. A size 50 hook in our river straightens out with all our rainbow trout. They're bigger and stronger than most trout will ever get. So a dry fly has to be tied on a wet fly hook with extra heavy wire. And that's something that we have to do in Castlegar here, just because our fish are bigger and stronger. And you'll find that out if you're using light wired hooks. They'll straighten out on almost every fish. 12 to 15 inch fish will straighten out a light wired hook. So when we're catching 20 inch plus fish, we need a heavy hook.